Well, the Hoosiers get the victory. I cannot believe it. The whole game, I'm thinking, how are they going to get this done? But they get it done. Let's get into it.
Pretty simple. I win.
Three on the way.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here, being part of this community. And we finally made it. We made it to the last game that Mike Woodson's going to coach at Assembly Hall. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk about the announcers some in this episode because they were, just about ready to throw up all over myself. It really shows you how, these national guys have no clue what goes on at Indiana University. But if this is your first time here or you're a returning subscriber or viewer and you have not hit that subscribe button yet, hit that subscribe button down below. It's all we really care about over here, isn't it, Hillbilly Monkey?
That's right. You hit the subscribe button. You got a lot of other things to do on your mind. And you might as well do that first before you do anything today.
That's right. So hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, hit that bell notification so you know I've been going live a lot more, and I'm going to be doing a lot more live videos throughout the tournament and everything like that. So you're not going to want to miss all of that action coming up. And the video is brought to you by BetUS. Use my promo code Indiana125 and save 125% on your first 3 deposits. And 10% of the AdSense revenue on this channel goes to T2T.org. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. All right, Hillbilly Monkey, when Galloway was taking that long three, what did you even think of that?
I was thinking about that song by Bon Jovi about like a wing living on a prayer. That's exactly what happened there. But it went in. I guess he's a senior and it's going to be his fault.
That's right. I mean, it was just one of those things where Galloway hits 2 threes and did not look good shooting the ball the entire game. He found it. I was happy to see that. For Galloway being a senior, 50-year senior, whatever it is, I mean, we needed this game. If there's something I hate more than anything, is like the Thursday and Friday of the tournament comes and Indiana's name is not on one of those blocks, and it's just a travesty. They're probably going to get a 10 seed if they could win some games in the tournament. I mean, they could possibly, lower that down to a 9, maybe 8. That doesn't really matter at this point. But Indiana in the tournament. Let's talk about the game. What did you think about the first half? Was a lot like a lot of the first halves Indiana has played at home. I was looking back at stats. I think they've had 25 points in the last 4 home games. They've had 25 points in the first half. Double check my math on that, but it was like UCLA, they had 25. I believe they had 25 against in that Purdue game as well. And there's one game I'm missing in there, I believe. But first half, really, Luke Goody, 3 points. You're thinking he's got to make some shots. This team has got to find something. I mean, and where it came from in the second half, let's take a look at some of the stats, because Goody ends up with 11, Galloway ends up with 16, Leo 4, Ballo ends up with 9 points, and the one thing I was happy about, Carlisle comes into the game in the first half, is he just steps in from the 3-point line, takes a bad 2-pointer, I think with 25 seconds on the shot clock. And I'm glad Mike Woodson is yes, get him out of the game. This dude cannot be in there. Miles Rice does a little bit of that too, steps in to take these long 2-pointers, and he's not that great of a spot up 2-point shooter. So you're just sitting there thinking,
What are you doing?
Leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think about the Hoosiers. Do they have a chance in the tournament? Do you think they can make waves in the Big Ten tournament and all that? Check out the comment section. If you have not joined the Connection Clan, join it down below, because we have great conversations about the game. And Malik Renew was 16 points. I thought Renew should have been in the game a lot more. I know he was trying to play Ballo a whole bunch because he's a senior, man, and he's a senior, so we got to give the senior some run. But there are times where he's really huffing and puffing out there and he needs a breather. He's just not ever going to be a guy that could play more than 25 minutes a game. That's always been his average, and he was thinner in his previous years than he was here. Ballo's mom shows up to the game. I was thinking the whole time, and not to be like a huge asshole, but I mean, I'm thinking this dude makes like $1.2 million. You couldn't fly your mom from Mozambique or wherever to see you play one time. I mean, with your $1 million, you can go to the bar and, do whatever with your friend. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, I just thought, this guy's making big time money. Why is this such an issue? The announcers were driving me bananas with the pageantry of Mike Woodson. I mean, just how much was it like? I mean, I hate to rip on this guy after a win, but it's like sitting there listening to these announcers going on and on about how he decided to step away and how it was all this. He was like it's just so clear that these guys never watch Indiana. They have no clue what goes on in Indiana. And when you hear these guys even talk about the coaching search or anything like that in the national media, you realize they have no clue what they're talking about because they're just not really keyed into it as much as like the people that report and are there every single day. And I'm not there every single day, but I do talk to a few people that are there every single day. And we know for a fact, after he said last week that, I guess what you get, you're winning 20 games, averaging 20 wins at Indiana is just not good enough. That doesn't sound like a guy that's walking away on his own. That's all I have to say. It's like, pay attention, Google his name, read a couple of articles, watch a couple of videos, watch some of these videos here, and you'll figure this stuff out. But nonetheless, the Hoosiers, they get into the tournament 3 out of 4 years, so they're going to be a bunch of people out there go, well, Mike Woodson wasn't that bad of a coach. He didn't recruit anybody. He didn't do anything positive for Indiana the entire time he was there. He sat on his duff, and he pretty much made this happen himself. He got fired. He did it to himself. So we can't really, but I know I have a lot of mixed emotions about watching this game because I'm rooting for the team. I want to see the players do well. Anthony Leo played one hell of a game, only 4 points out there, but gets so many extra possessions for the team. Guys running over him, playing tight defense on that guy down low, and he takes the elbow. That was the real turning point in the game where Indiana got those free throws. They were able to really kind of take command after a few series there because before that, they were having trouble guarding the 3-point line. And here's the other part that just drives me nuts. How long in the first half was Mbako, Ballo, and Renew out there at the same time? And those guys cannot guard the perimeter. Right in that time, Ohio State hit 3 threes. They were 4 or 13 going into the half. And a lot of that was because playing those 3 guys in that stretch, they played for about 7 minutes there. And that's where you start to lose it. And it's incredulous. That's why this team is not going to go that far in the tournament because Mike Woodson's stubbornness. You got to be keyed in on these tournament games for 40 minutes. You can't be having just a bad defensive lineup out there for long periods of time. These tournament teams will take advantage of that and they'll blow Indiana away. That's pretty much what'll happen. They'll score 20 and before you even turn your head, if you got Mbako, Ballo, and Renew. I hope he learns from that. They play probably Oregon in the Big Ten tournament. So I cannot wait for that. It's going to be, it's going to be a little different type of tournament. Only the 15 teams, 3 teams left out this year. But Indiana, they get the bye, so they don't have to play on the first day. So they will get an extra day of rest. But it's probably Oregon who they're going to be lined up at because all the seeds above them are probably going to stay the same. Only Michigan State and Michigan play tomorrow. So if it's Oregon, it's Oregon. We just saw Oregon go down there to Indianapolis, play a rough and tumble game against them, and get the victory. And who knows? Maybe you can move up the seed line. Maybe you could do something. But, in the end, I complain. But we get in the tournament in a year where it's a very weak field. But hey, I'm happy. We're going to see Indiana's block in there on one of those lines. And I'm just happy they got this win today because my heart was really going to sink thinking like, oh God, like they lost their last 2 games and then they've not really been on a hot streak of sorts. It seemed that way for a minute, but kind of the Oregon game really kind of took them out of that. They've got Ohio State's number. They've now beat them 6 of the last 7 times they've played them. And hey, Bruce Thornton can suck it. I mean, that guy, tough guard. He didn't do, I will say this, Ohio State's offensive sets in this game were way better than they were early in the season when we played them at Ohio State. At that time, Ohio State was like, they had some just awful possession after possession after possession where Thornton just handled the ball the whole time, dribbled the air out of the ball, made it super easy to play defense. And I'll say Ohio State came out, they looked like they had a better game plan. They played better defense in this game than they played the game we played them earlier in the season. So, I mean, they made it tough on Indiana. And Indiana was down in this game most of the time. But Galloway, when he hit the corner 3, but the launch from, that's probably the longest shot Galloway's ever hit in his entire life, was that 3-pointer. But it's great to see, you know, a lot of these guys, they're not coming back. I mean, we know Goody, Galloway, Leo, Balo, these guys are probably not going to be on the team next year. And here is a clip of Mike Woodson after the game. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll it.
Well, you know, the one thing I look at it is, you know, we've been in the tournament a few years, been able to recruit players, been able to graduate players. You know, I just want the program to be successful. That's all. That's all I ever thought about when I took the job, and that's how I feel now, you know, so.
Oh, he's a peach, isn't he? That's the last time. Well, maybe we'll show a couple more clips in the tournament or whatnot of what he has to say afterwards, but oh, what a peach of a man. Hillbilly Monkey, what did you think about the game?
Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey land that's sold in home goods. It's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection.
Well, it would have been terrible to see him, terrible to see him lose a game at home on senior night. I mean, that's always a bad thing. The crowd, everybody seemed like they were really into it. They kept saying how it was sold out. It seemed like a classic, you know, Indiana game at Assembly Hall, and they get the victory. You know, it was a tough-fought game from beginning to end. And these guys, they really needed to get this victory, not only for themselves, but for all of us, so we can just sit back. We know we're going to get in the tournament now, which I got news for you, Mike Woodson. That is not the goal at Indiana, is to be a 10 seed in the tournament. So suck it. You got fired from your job, and we're moving on.
That's right. It's like our goal is not to be a 10 seed in the tournament. It should never be that. Your goal is to be the best team out there. Now we got a new coach coming in, and we will be talking a lot more about that, but a lot of good stuff to look forward to this week. The Big Ten tournament. It's going to be beautiful weather in the 60s all week long, and I just can't wait for it. It's one of my favorite weeks of the entire year, going into the Big Ten tournament, and then with the NCAA tournament starting the following weekend. It's always a great time to watch basketball, and it's going to be beautiful outside. So thank you so much for joining me today on Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.